So I had a roofer tell me yesterday that he's spending $8,000 per month on PPC, pay per click, and he was complaining about bad leads. And it gave me the idea to make this video so I could help teach you how not to have bad leads. So here's what happened. I asked him to show me his ad, and here's exactly what I noticed that's happening, that you may be making the same mistake. And the mistake was that all his ads were going to his main website. So basically it was generic and listed all the services the company provides: roof repairs, roof placements, inspections, gutters, storm damage, the list goes on. Okay. The problem with that, which I'm going to explain to you in this video, and you may be making the same mistake, which is causing you to have bad leads. But the problem is that the ads he was running on his PPC account was actually specific for roof replacements. So I asked, when somebody clicks on a roof replacement ad, what do they see? And the answer is they go to the main website. That's a page that has everything. So they click on this ad, but they go to a page that has gutters, repairs, inspection, storm damage, etc. And that's your problem right there. Let me explain in this video how you can make sure to not generate bad leads for your roofing business. Let's start with this. What happens when you run a generic campaign? For example, you target roof repair near me. That gets you a mix of people, okay? You might get a homeowner who actually has a leak and will pay for your services. You have a guy who maybe calls in wondering what his roof needs fixed. Maybe he'll pay, maybe he won't, he'll decide, right? Then you have someone else who calls in who's just price shopping, so they're comparing prices, and you got to try to negotiate with them to get the appointment. You have another person who calls in who's just not ready to decide yet. They'll probably ghost you and never talk to you again, right? It's all mixed together. You have all these things. And maybe your salesperson talks to 50 people. If they're lucky, they close 3, which is brutal 3% conversion, very low. That's what's happening to a lot of roofing companies, and you may be able to relate to this. But imagine this. You create campaigns the right way to stop generating bad leads. So let me share with you a couple ways you can do so. Well, first of all, you can create 3 separate campaigns based on intention. Let me break this down for you. So campaign 1, for example, would be roof leak emergency today, right? There's a high cost per click, way fewer total clicks, but 90% of the people who click actually need a roof repair. This way, those people who do call in, you actually close 8 out of the 10 people who respond, because it's a very intentional and targeted campaign. Next, let's just say we run a roof replacement campaign with some financing options, okay? We're gonna have a different crowd for that campaign than the last one, different messaging, and even a different landing page, right? That has different messaging than a roof repair page, okay? And by doing so, you'll have different conversion rates for each of these campaigns. You could do another campaign that's a free roof inspection, right? That's everyone's main offer. It's entry level. There's a lot of volume. There's no pressure or commitment. But sometimes this can pair with lower quality leads initially, but it's good for building a list and getting a variety of different leads. But do you see the difference here? We structured 3 campaigns, one for roof replacement, one for roof repair, and one for roof inspections. And when you structure it by intent, your salespeople and your intake team starts to talk to qualified buyers, not just browsers, based on the campaigns. And what happens is your conversions shoot up and your cost per lead is gonna drop. And you close more jobs essentially with less spend. And that's a game changer for you. Now, for those of you who are having this issue or want to have better ads, more conversions, right? You're like, Arielle, but explain, how exactly do you do this? Well, let me tell you, okay? First, step 1 is you want to identify the 3 main intent categories, okay? Let's start with 3, you could build out more. So for roofing, it's usually things like emergency, right? So that's could be leaks, it could be storm damage, it could be urgent repairs, but these are people who have a pain, they have a need, and they need it now. Okay, let's start there, because they're gonna have the highest conversions and the highest urgency. Makes sense? If your roof's actively leaking, you can't wait that long, okay? The next type of intent is gonna be planning. Those are the people who are planning to make a move. So it could be a replacement, which is a bigger job, so they're planning out when they're going to do it, upgrades, or it could be an inspection because they're planning to see, what's going on with the roof. These are people who are more so thinking ahead, okay? The urgency is more medium, whereas with roof repairs and emergencies, it's obviously a high urgency. And those types of people want to compare options. Now I'm going to move to the third intent that you can do, which is maintenance. These are people who are looking for regular service. Maybe it's some small fixes. These are people who are preventative, right? The last set of people are more proactive. These people are preventative. They're low urgency and they're usually budget conscious, right? So we have 3 different types of intents here. Step 2 is based on those 3 intents, and you might have another intent in your customer demographic, right? Is to create separate campaigns. So there would be an emergency campaign. Okay, that's the very first one. And you want to make sure you have headlines, that are relative to that target intent. Okay, you want to make sure the keywords are also relevant to that target intent. So I'm going to write this down here for you, and I'm going to show you on the screen exactly what headlines you can use. For example, for emergency, you could use roof leak ? Call now. Same day response. You could use keywords like roof leak repair, emergency roof repair. And in the landing page itself, you want to emphasize speed as the big CTA, minimal text. Make sure they know that you can get to them quickly, okay? Because they're having an urgent issue. Then you have your second intent, which is your planning campaign. Okay, you could use a headline such as planning a roof replacement ? Compare options. Because remember what I talked to you about the intent. So you want to speak to that intent. Okay, you could use keywords like roof replacement cost, new roof price, roof financing. Those are all great keywords among a list of others you can use in that type of campaign. And you could drive them directly to a landing page that emphasizes those options along with financing. And you could educate them, right? And actually explain the process to them. All right. And the third campaign type we have is the maintenance campaign. Okay. This is for people who have, more regular service, a little lower intent. It's not urgent, right? But you could use headlines like keep your roof healthy, free inspection, right? Because they care about being proactive and preventative. And you could use those keywords such as roof inspection, roof maintenance, right? Roof cleaning. And the landing page at that point can emphasize prevention, the things they care about, checklists, tips, right? All the things that buyer type and that user intent would match. And then step 3, which I kind of mentioned in all of these, but it's critical and it goes back to the very first example so you don't lose money on your campaigns, is making sure that your landing page matches the intent of the ads you're running. So it matches in terms of service, it matches in terms of buyer type and where they're at in the buying journey. Okay, so you're not going to send a roof replacement ad to a generic website or a website about repair and gutters. You're going to send a roof replacement ad to a page about exactly that, roof replacement. Okay, and vice versa, same thing goes for roof repair or gutters or any other services you offer. And you're gonna make sure the images, the content, the social proof, the testimonials, everything on that page reflects that same buyer's intent. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna drive up the amount of conversions you get from your Google ads and those leads that come in online, and it's gonna bring down the cost of the leads because you're gonna have higher volume, which is ultimately what you want to do, okay? And you wanna make sure you have a huge CTA on the site, that it's, obviously mobile friendly, there's a chat button, right? No long form text, just quick, get action fast. Okay, these are the types of things you want to include on your landing page. So basically, same traffic you were getting, but different intention to a different page to get different conversion outcomes. And this is ultimately why a lot of roofing ads fail, is they have one page trying to be everything. Okay, a smart roofing company, or should I say a smart marketing plan, would have 3 pages, each focus on the different intents, the different groups. And by doing so, conversion rate goes up and the cost per lead goes down, and most importantly, profit increases. Now, once you make these changes, you're like, Arielle, okay, how do I know if this is working or what's working and what's not? I don't want these bad leads anymore. Okay, I got you. So now we need to move into tracking and optimization. Once you're running these 3 different campaigns, or any of the campaign types I just mentioned, right? Here's how you're gonna measure success, okay? You're gonna check your metrics weekly, at least, okay? You need to know your numbers. So here's the type of things you want to look at for each of the campaign metrics. First and foremost, how many leads did it generate? Next is going to be cost per click. How much was that cost per click? How much was that cost per lead? Okay, how much did each lead cost you and how much did you spend total? Of that, how many did you actually book appointments with and how many closed, which will take some time to see. And based on your average job, you can do some really good calculations there to see how well and what type of ROI you're having on your marketing campaigns. Okay, those are the main metrics you need to know. We have a roofing calculator that we could provide to you that will actually do all these numbers and calculations for you, so you don't even have to think about it. You just plug everything in, makes it easy to see how your campaigns are performing. If you're interested in that, type calculator in the comments and I'm happy to share that with you. All right, so real talk here. I wanted to make this video after having that conversation with one of the roofers because I realized a lot of roofing companies fail when it comes to advertising. They get bad leads and it's because they try to be everything to everyone. Okay, smart roofing campaigns win because they're specific. They have specific intent, specific landing pages, specific messaging. It's not complicated, it's just structured. So if you want help building intentional based roofing campaigns for your business, that's exactly what we do at Marketing 411. My name's Arielle Cohen, your roofing marketing guide. Thanks for tuning in and I'll see you in the next video.